Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Reach out to me directly. I am tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we are discussing a watch that was launched in 2017 in only 50 pieces with a titanium lower hull and a steel upper casing. This is the Urwerk UR-105 CT Streamliner, inspired by the adventures of a young Felix Baumgartner and Martin Fry, Urwerk's founders, in New York during their early career. This watch has absorbed the best elements of New York's distinctive Art Deco style. The timepiece is, like most Urwerk watches, a case study in traditional elements that are cloaked in breakneck innovation. This watch is very different, both in terms of how it looks and how it reads. It even wears unconventionally. So 39.5 millimeters from side to side. The watch is 54 millimeters from end to end, and a rather stout 17.2 millimeters thick, but that's at its thickest point. You can see there is some variation through the length of the hull, and I call it a hull because it's really that more than a case. This feels like a vehicle on the wrist. Taking a look on the wrist, my wrist is 16 centimeters circumference. Like many Urwerk timepieces, the watch is large and hulking, but the fit is quite easy. It's a timepiece that I could recommend for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference, because though it is going to be prominent, and I'll zoom out to give you the best perspective possible, nevertheless the fit is incredibly secure and comfortable. And this particular strap, which is a Urwerk UR220 style with Velcro, incredibly adjustable, because within the Velcro's span you have an infinite number of sizings. So the sizing you get is going to be perfect. Again, 14 centimeters circumference wrist. You could wear and enjoy this watch. My wrist is 16. Take one look down the barrel so you get a sense of that. Over the top, and the cuff shot should reveal that you're pretty much hopeless. You're not going to fit that underneath the sleeve. Again, this is a strap that was released on the UR220. It was Urwerk's first rubber strap. We decided to retrofit this because we like the way it looks and feels better than the 105 Streamliner's standard strap. It has these tiers with a sort of textile pattern molded on. That's not textile, it's a molded. It's embossed. In profile, you can see that the strap on both sides held to the case using screws and bars for security. And then there is a technique called Volcarbone that's used on the underside. What looks like it might be felt is actually rubber that's been treated to have a velvety felt-like feel, so it's wonderfully slick and feels a treat. There's a hollow on the underside of the strap which helps to thin it out and make it more flexible, but also allow the wrist to breathe. Taking a quick look at the exterior of the strap, you've got that Velcro and you've got a little titanium blackened buckle. You can see that Volcarbone from the top side as well. The case features striations as well as recesses in its profile, and then a couple of different finishes, as you can see, variously polish and media blast. Those are the two dominant finishes, although there's a little bit of satination if you look in the right place. On the reverse side, you can see the air turbines that are actually used to control the degree of winding efficiency. So here's how this works. You have an Urwerk caliber in here that they call the UR5.03. It's based on the Zenith Elite Automatic. The difference here is that you have the ability to close off the airway that drives these turbines. And these turbines are geared to the winding rotor. So let's say I want full efficiency. I'm a very sedentary person. I work in an office, which I do. Then I'm going to set the winding system to full, just like that. Now the watch will wind itself vigorously to energize its 48-hour power reserve. Let's say I'm moderately vigorous. Well, I'm going to slow down the winding and create a little bit more resistance to reduce wear and tear on the winding system. Now let's say I'm super active and I'm going to be doing something concussive, jerky, that otherwise involves rapid reversals of momentum. Well, now I'm going to lock the winding system for absolute security. You can see that the individual numbering is on the case back. The case back here is blasted titanium. The top of the hull, we'll call it a hull, is polished stainless steel. You see those strakes like you would find on Art Deco buildings. The top of the Chrysler building, the lobby of Empire State. And here We even have the ability to view the heavily skeletonized carousel system that is at the center of Urwerk's unique time-telling mechanism. So the way Urwerk tells time is they use something called wandering hours, which was created as a clock complication during the Renaissance, and from the early 90s, from 1992, Audemars Piguet introduced it into wristwatches with the star wheel. Urwerk from 1997 has used this system, but instead of the star wheel with its somewhat finicky and maintenance-sensitive spring and star pawl system, Urwerk uses a Maltese cross arrangement that's a lot more durable and shock-resistant and doesn't require quite the same amount of maintenance. The carousel here has been fully skeletonized, and the carousel itself is made of an unusual alloy that you don't see really anywhere else. It is made of aluminum. This is an unusual watchmaking material. I've seen only a handful of aluminum movement components and cases over the years. The other components are the satellites themselves, which are actually made of beryllium bronze, so super lightweight, anti-magnetic, and corrosion resistant. We have a little scale. The way this time-telling function works is that you read the number that is adjacent to the scale, so you see 2, then you read the number on the scale, which is 15. So this is 215. And as I advance the carousel, you can see the outgoing exits stage left and the incoming enters stage right. Now you're looking at 305. That's how that works. A special galvanic process was used to create this little digital seconds display. So the metallization was created by a chemical deposit process that allows that disc to be incredibly light. It's only 1 gram. That's your seconds display. If you look carefully, you can see that there is a power reserve indicator hiding on the right side of the time scale. That tells you how much energy you have internally. And the watch is surprisingly well loomed. As you can see, no shortage of luminescence. The power reserve, the seconds, the hours, the minutes, it's all there. Of course, you can close the convertible top. And the watch does have that Zenith Elite-based movement core. It includes the Urwerk module with the power reserve. That's the manufacture part of the movement. And again, it's a unidirectional automatic winder. The Elite is unidirectional. The Zenith El Primero is bidirectional. 4 Hz beat rate, power reserve, stop seconds. It does have hacking, 52 joules combined, and 30 meters water resistant with the setting system for the winding efficiency that you can use to shut down or maximize winding efficiency. So when a 50 piece is made, reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.